La máquina deportiva, la factoría a nivel mundial de los deportes.
Emil, big year heading into this year, coming off of last year's disappointment of missing the playoffs. What are some expectations heading in? And also, we're from Feels Good FC. Could you name a Feels Good moment in your Red Bull career that you can attest to?
I would say Columbus moment when we beat them in the playoffs. I think that was a moment for everybody where everybody came together when Danny put the last penalty in. I think that's a moment everybody can't forget about. Of MLS Cup final, either way the results wasn't the way we wanted, but just seeing the support, everybody who's there, incredible. So I will take those two. And then season's been so far so good. Preseason is always preseason. I think we had a really good preseason, worked hard on the new ideas. Game's been good. So it's gonna be exciting. It feels good. Body-wise, everybody's sharp, feeling good, so it's gonna be good.
Emil, a little bit of I guess, stressful year for you a little bit. Your last year in the contract, the World Cup year, also trying to get back to the squad. How do you feel about coming into this year and working back into?
I'm honestly enjoying myself right now. Just be able to be on the pitch every day, having fun with my teammates. That's why I go to training every day, just to have fun and to perform. I mean, it's going to be an exciting year. A lot of new faces for us, a new coach. But like I said, this 4 weeks, 5 weeks been very good for us. I think it's been very exciting to see the young guys, the new guys coming in with Michael and his ideas. So the performance level and the level of how we have to perform every game has to be higher this season, and that's what we're going to demand from each other. So we go on Saturday, and I can't wait.
I think this year has been a little bit different with a lot of transfers coming in, rather than the past years where there hasn't been that many changes in the squad. How do you feel with the new guys and then the other guys that has left?
I mean, like I said, we work. The intensity in the trainings, video sessions has been very good because we have ideas from Michael we want to get into, but I think it's been running smoothly, to be honest. I think it's been going very well. Everybody's adapted in a fantastic way. Everybody knows what we have to do to be a successful team. So, like I said, the way we come together now, these 5 weeks, has been very good. I'm very excited, and also very excited for you fans to see the new team and what we can do.
How have you changed your approach going into this season, now your third season? How are you personally changing your approach to coming to this year, now knowing the travel, the games, all the mid-seasons, all the breaks? How are you now adjusting to this? And could possibly help somebody else on the team that doesn't know?
I mean, for me, I'm a very down-to-earth guy. I take it the way it is. I love the trips. I love the going back and forth. For me, it doesn't bother me in any way. I'm, like I said, just enjoying every second. I want to do better this year than I did last year with the team. So it's been a lot of hard work. But like I said as well, for everybody, we know what we have to do. We've set a certain standard this year that we have to keep up to. Last year was a little bit too much of a roller coaster season for us. Being strong at home and at away games, we didn't really know. But this year, everybody has to take responsibility for their performance throughout the whole season. So that's going to be important.
I wanted to ask about your former teammate. I wanted to ask about your former teammate in Germany, Timo Werner, who obviously has come over to the MLS this summer. He was linked to Dior for quite some time, and he ultimately ended up, obviously, in California. Were you disappointed that he didn't end up as your teammate once again, and how are you feeling about him joining the league?
I would have loved to play with him again, but I'm very happy for him taking that step. I talked to him a lot in summer and summer before, so I'm just happy for him. Wherever he is happy, I'm happy. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to the MLS, and for their squad, he's a fantastic player and a guy I know well. So I'm just happy for him. Happy for him to be here in the MLS and hope him to do good.
We have an idea of how players get ready physically, but how do you get ready mentally?
Oh, I mean, it's for me, like I said, I'm a down-to-earth guy. I don't overthink too much. I'm just trying to live in the moment, believe in my qualities, and just enjoying every moment. I've been playing now professionally for, I think, almost 16, 17 years, so you always try to set this bar high in every way, the way you perform and also the way you perform in your head mentally. So I always set a high standard, but trying to just be comfortable in myself.
If you could bring any player of anywhere in the world to the Red Bull here, who would it be?
It's a hard question. I mean, it depends. I have a lot of good friends I would love to have here. We have a lot of talented footballers all over the world. So for me, I would love to see my friend Alexander Isak here, or Viktor Gyökeres, or Dejan Kulusevski, for example. A lot of good friends from there. So it's up to them in the end.
Emil, wish you a great season. After a few months pass, after you guys can make it to the playoff, what can you explain about your first season going to the final and the last one not even make it to the playoff? What happened?
I mean, it's soccer, it's football. You can have good ones, bad ones. But like I said, I think this year we have to set a certain bar of performance level. Everybody has to take responsibility for their what do you say, accountability of your own performances throughout the season, in training, in games, and we have to demand more from each other every day. So I would say that's the thing this year, coming from two seasons, one that was very good and one that wasn't very good, that the level of performance has to be high. We have to set a high bar of the performance level from us every training and every game.
Emil, you've talked about.
Yeah.
Sorry. Emil, you mentioned integrating Michael's new ideas into the team. You know the Red Bull system better than anybody, being with both Leipzig and New York. What kind of changes can we expect under Michael Bradley moving forward?
I mean, it's going to be a lot of intensity, playing fast, 1-2 touches, get the game to their half as quick as possible, and then have fun solutions within the ideas, and just create goal chances as fast as we can, and then defend with all we got, with high pressure, high intensity, everybody helping each other. So it's going to be high intensity for sure.
Emil, this offseason we saw probably the biggest turnover we've seen in quite some time at this club. What experience have you had at Leipzig with maybe some offseason where there were a lot of turnover and a lot of guys leaving and new guys coming in? How do you kind of take an advanced leadership role in helping that transition?
No, I think it's part of football the way it is, and I think, like I said, everybody who's came in doing fantastically good within the team, taking responsibility, helping the team, helping each other, and we could help them. I think the team chemistry is really good. Everybody knows what they have to do. We've set a certain level of what we expect from each other, and I think that's very important. So it's part of football. Changes happen. What we can do is we can just, the ones who are here, we can only affect that and affect what we're doing right now, right here, and that's now Saturday against Orlando. It's the only focus we have. It's not the game after. It's not what happened before. It's that day. It's all that counts.
Emil, it seems like you've been able to immerse yourself in the culture a little bit, going out on the river, the Hudson, getting involved into the community. Do you feel more at home, being here after your third year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been treated fantastically ever since I came, and the people are so nice, and I love it. I think it's just an incredible experience, and I keep enjoying it. That's why I'm driving to training with a smile every day, just to have fun, to enjoy being able to do what I can do. I love to play football, and I get to do it every day. So every time I step on that pitch, I just enjoy it.
Do you have a quick message for the fans before the home opener?
No, I'm just excited to see everybody. This year is going to be different. We're ready to go, and hopefully we can do a better season than last year and go for it.
Emil, what were your first impressions of Michael Bradley? And also, what did you think of him as a fellow midfielder?
No, I think as a coach, I didn't know him before. I met him, of course, at the facility a lot of times, but now as a coach, it's a great experience. He's a guy with a lot of energy. He knows what he wants, but also in a personality-wise with all the players, how it trying to interact with everybody. It's fantastic, and I think that's also a reason why the preseason has been so good, that everybody feels welcome, everybody knows what to do, and that's why we're more than ready to go on Saturday.
To follow up real quick, has Michael Bradley been able to communicate your change in role? It seems like maybe you're playing a little bit deeper in midfield this season.
Yeah, we had a fantastic conversations about my role and about the team in general. We got to put the guys in the best position where they can help the team the most. So it's been very good. This preseason been fantastic. We train hard. Everybody knows what we got to do, and like I said, we're ready to go on Saturday.
Thank you.
Last question.
Just to touch on, there's been a lot of talk about the team not really shifting how they play, but having more possession, and that kind of just leads into your play style. Can you talk about how comfortable you are as that number 10, or maybe as in a different role where you're going to be having more of the ball to be able to create, just be that facilitator of the attack?
No, but like I said, I think the way we play now is going to fit everybody. Everybody's going to be in positions where they can get the most out of their potential and what they can do best. And that's why it's exciting. And for me, I'm comfortable in the role, whatever it is. I'm here to help the team to do as good as possible and to achieve the big things this year. That's why we're here.
You're going into what's going to be probably towards the end of the contract, going into this very important season, you and them. What's the thought process of trying to make it happen this year for the team, like going all the way and making sure, because to be honest, you've been worth every penny so far. It's been great to make sure that you guys continue this to make it to the final, or at least back to the playoffs.
Yeah, thank you first of all. We don't put too much pressure on ourselves right now. We have a changed team, like a lot of new kids, young talented players with us, some new players with experience, and obviously Emil and me, we have also a special role because we have a certain experience, and I try to help all of the young kids, especially to lead the team, and also I know my role. I need to help them. I try to score again, of course, some goals, assist some goals, but at the end of the day, the team performance is the most important. And we know that we can do better than last season, but there were already a lot of positive parts. I think we have to play more consistently, because it was not that last season, or let me better say, there were a lot of games which were very good and some disappointing games. But the way Bradley started everything and the ideas he has, how we want to play football, straightforward, attacking, intensive. I think everyone embraced that quite fast, and I like that style of play. We want to create chances. We want to try to win every game, and I see a lot of potential in this team. Myself personally, I would try to do even better than last season to help the team as much as possible with my experience on the field. Also off the field, I would try to talk to a lot of guys. I already do it. I hope they see some. Or they dare also to talk to me, to ask questions, whatever. I'm there to help us, of course, because I could be the father of some of those kids. It's crazy. But I still feel good, so age is just a number, and I feel very, very good. So I'm very motivated and looking forward to the new season and to the start now.
Thanks, Anthony.
Hey, so
Hi.
last season you played a majority of games, you were able to stay fit. How do you feel going into this season and be able to maintain how many games you were able to start last year?
I have a certain age right now, but like I said, age is just a number. But what I learned during the years is to maintain my body, to stay fit, to eat well, to live good, and to take care of my body. And I feel like last season I feel good, personally. That's the first important thing. And then the next thing is how do we create again a team, or how do we create an atmosphere of hunger, I would say, of motivation for all of us to do better than last season, and to achieve as most goals as possible, of course. First of all, to get to the playoffs. But we will do it step by step, game by game. That's the most important. And like I said, because if we start to play consistently good, I think we will have a great season.
Next, we have Sean. Hi, Eric Maxim.
Hi.
Sean Arnett, Outlaw Sports.
Hi.
Given this stage of your career, is it enjoyable for you to be a teacher, to be a role model for younger players like Cade, and now you have Jorge coming in, and younger players who want to make more of a bigger impact like Julian Hall?
Yeah, it's still fun, definitely, and it's a different role maybe than before, but it inspires me also, and it motivates me. Not only to help the young guys and to be like an example for them, that you can have a great long career, but also to challenge myself, because those young kids, they are hungry, they run a lot, and they see me maybe as an older guy, but I think they can see on the field and on the pitch that I'm still fit as well, and I compete with anyone. I don't care how old you are, and that's how they should see it. It doesn't matter if they compete against Julian Hall, for example, against a Sergio Ramos, Thiago Silva, or another 19-year-old defender who's very great. They have to take it just serious, win their duels, and that's what I want to tell them, give them this motivation, and everything is possible every season. It starts at zero now. It's a new season ahead of us, and like I said, we had great games last year, so I think we can beat everyone, but it depends on us, how we start a game, how we end a game, and how we train.
Next one, Steve. How you doing, Steve?
Good, thank you.
Feels Good FC.
Hi.
You kind of touched on your expectations a little bit, but the team struggled a lot on the road. Has Michael Bradley talked to you guys about that? What's your relationship with first-time head coach Michael Bradley?
Yes, Michael talked about it briefly as well, but he focused more on us, not a difference between playing at home or away. There shouldn't be a difference. Of course, at home is always a bit easier. Not easier, but it helps us because we have our fans, and they help us a lot also. They motivate us. But at the end of the day, it depends on us, and we want to play the same football at home as away. We have to get out of our head or forget the last season, because, like you said, the away run was not good at all, and we know that we can do much better. And we focus on that. We focus on our work, and we know that if all the 11 players who are on the field and also the players who are on the bench who will maybe enter or however, or everyone has an impact, that we give our best, that we are 100% motivated, and that we really go game by game. That means it's not the right decision, I think, to think like, oh, in 4 weeks we play against Miami, who's the how we say the champion at the moment. No. We play next week against Orlando. We play after against New England, and it's game by game, different teams, different players. But we want to play our football. We want to show them that we play our football, and we don't have to adapt to the other team. And I think, to come back on Bradley, he found already the right words. He's clear in his speeches. He's clear in his ideas and the way he wants to play, and we have to give everything to show it at the end on the pitch.
Eric, wish you a great season for you and the guys.
Thank you.
What you know about the league before you got here, and what you confirm or not after the entire year play here at MLS?
I think the MLS is making progress. Definitely. I followed the MLS a little bit, but not that much, to be honest, when I was in Europe. And I think it's better than people think. Let's say people, for example, or teams of players in Europe. Of course, I'm still in good contact with a lot of players in Europe who play on a very high level. And I think you can also see that more and more players are willing to come to MLS. Great players are coming, even if some of them are in a certain age. They could still play somewhere else. Even me, I could have played or choose somewhere else. Very interesting. But for me, not only the MLS, also the culture, of course, being in the US, but the whole package was a whole motivation. And I think the MLS is making good progress, and it's been fun. It's a tough league still, good competition. I think you could see last season everyone can beat everyone. There was no team who was like by far the best team. Miami ended up 4th in the league and then won the MLS Cup. So everything is possible, and I like that.
We have one more question from us. Eric Mohammed from the Exchange.
Hi.
We're called the Exchange, so we talk a lot about the exchange of jerseys.
Okay.
You've been an experienced player, PSG, Bayern Munich, Schalke, a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
What's an exchange of jersey that, even the Cameroonian national team, what's an exchange of jersey that you can think of that sticks in your mind?
Like on a national level or any?
Team.
For example, when I was very young, the first exchange with Franck Ribéry. So I played and I scored even in this game. I played against Bayern, and I don't know how old I was, 20 maybe, and
Hamburg?
Sorry?
With Hamburg?
No, actually I was on loan in this time. I was 1 year in Nuremberg. I scored the 1-1, the equalizer. Ribéry came in. And as he speaks French, I speak French. I told him straight away, listen, let's change the jersey. And he was like, hey, no problem. Yeah.
Do you have any more that you can think of?
Anymore. I changed. Like, most of the times, to be honest, it had been with players I played often against or I knew kind of. Like, it was not only like, oh, this is the most known player in this team or something. So, but there, of course, obviously, always with friends. Always with friends. When I played for Stoke, I played against Man City. Leroy Sané, who was a great friend of mine. We swapped jerseys straight away. It was a cool moment. When I played against Paris with Bayern, I swapped jerseys. So yeah.
Ethan, you went to Europe at a young age. The story about your parents being janitors in Norway. Why now? Why come to America at this time of your career?
It was just the right opportunity for my footballing career. This opportunity, out of all the options, gave myself the best opportunity to further along my career and where I wanted to go, and for my personal development in a so-called leadership role. So you know, this opportunity was kind of a nice chance to come back home to a big club like the Red Bulls, and like you mentioned, I left at such a young age to make my own mark and my own chapter in the U.S. since I left at such a young age.
Yeah, but why this over? You know, I'm sure other leagues were looking at you, or maybe other teams in MLS. Why specifically New York?
Yeah, it's just it was the right time to join Red Bulls. You know, early January I had a really good over 2-hour conversation with Michael. Later in January I had a call with Julian and everybody. And you know, a bit of disappointment from last season. So this season they're trying to change things around, to freshen up, new ideas, new tactics. To get Red Bull back on top. So you know, it just made sense after speaking with Michael and after speaking with Julian for what I'm thinking in my head and what my goals and ambitions are. It just made sense that this was the perfect time to join Red Bull.
And a big call in goalkeeping, right? Because Carlos has been a goalkeeper here for 5 years and undisputed #1, and now you're brought in.
Yeah, you know, to be the goalkeeper for Red Bull, such a big club, it's a big responsibility and big shoes. But you know, it's a role I'm really looking forward to, and I can't wait to get started Saturday night.
Thank you.
Sean, Sacramento Magazine. In being a second-generation pro, I have an Avalanche pin I'd like your dad to sign.
Yeah.
What advantages do you think that gives that to you in England?
Sorry, I didn't. Can you?
What advantages?
Advantage.
To you when that you came up, your dad was playing pro, that process.
Oh, I mean, you know, I've been around the game my whole life, so with my dad playing, my mom playing, my uncle, like I've been around the game literally my whole life, so I don't know if it gives me any advantages or whatnot, but you know, it certainly helped to have my dad have that little moment of professionalism, you know, to give his 2 cents on what to expect.
Hi, Jacqueline Franco from Master. How do you think about the World Cup this year will be here too in New York, and how will be the MLS playing you guys at the same time the World Cup?
I mean, we're not going to play the same time as the World Cup because we have a break. But, you know, from when I left at such a young age until now, I think the league has grown tremendously. You've had some of the world's biggest stars come and play in the league and help develop the league and help get eyes on the league, with the likes of Messi, Zlatan, Son, Lloris, Berkey, like the list goes on and on. So when I first left till now, the league has grown tremendously, and I think for those type of stars to come and play in the league has really helped the league grow into into a very good league, and to have those stars, all eyes watch it, which I think is good. And like you said yourself, with the World Cup coming to the States, it's just another opportunity for more people and for more eyes to be on it and for the sport to grow.
Mike Batista, New York Sports Nation. So as you come to this team, I believe between the first and second team, there's 7 goalkeepers on contract. A lot of them are young, and you were just saying how you've been around the game your entire life. Do you see this as an opportunity to give back a little bit to some of these younger guys? And what have you seen from, you've only been here like 2.5 weeks, so I know you were down Florida a little bit, but what have you seen so far? What's it been like to work with these guys?
No, it's been really good, and like you said yourself, to it's an opportunity for me to bring all of what I experienced, all my 14, 15 years of what I've experienced in Europe with me, and to really give back and to help. Like, so far the training's been really well. We've had, like, the young keepers have been Toby and Aiden that have been training with us, so in any way I can, I try to give my advice in any way that I can help. If I see something, like in the moment or in an action or in a drill, to enjoy, first of all, enjoy the trainings, have a competitive and friendly, like, goalkeeping environment, but then also we're always there to make each other better. So if in any way on the pitch, off the pitch, I can help, I'll always do my best to give back from what I've learned over there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maria Isabel, sports girl NYC. A lot of times we see how players get ready physically, but how do you get ready mentally?
I've been lucky enough to play in some of the biggest games in the world, with Champions League and at Wembley for the championship playoffs, So, playing those games have definitely helped me mentally to, playing in front of 80, 90,000 people. Yeah, it's a big daunting task to walk out to those type of people, but to just remember why you're doing this and why you're playing the game, you before going out, me personally, try not to think too much about the occasion, because it will just eat you up. And so just before the game, to remember why you're doing this, to remember all the good moments in your career to look back on, because that will help you get ready for the game. Or that's just me personally.
David, the monthly league planet soccer. There's a lot of talk of Americans playing in Europe. How important do you think it is for American players to come back to MLS and play?
Yeah, I think it's important. Like, this will be my first time playing in MLS. I played for Real Colorado, so I never played for the Rapids. So I think it's always nice to. I've always kind of had it in my head that I would always come back and play in MLS for a couple of years. And so now this is my opportunity to come back, to make my little chapter, my mark in MLS, and personally for my career as well. So I think it's important, and it's also nice for guys who have left at such a young age to come back and see how far the league has really grown, actually.
Hi, I just want to ask, you're not the first U.S. goalkeeper in recent years to come back to the U.S. Obviously, Zach has come back, Matt's come back to the U.S. With Coach Pochettino kind of showing he's totally on board with MLS goalkeepers, obviously Matt right now is the U.S. #1. Does that factor at all into your decision to come home now, 2026, just 6 months before the World Cup?
Yeah, I would be lying if I said I wasn't, but I will say it wasn't the number one deciding factor. The number one deciding factor was this was the right opportunity and the right moment for me to come back to MLS to further along my career. But yeah, like I said, if I get the email or if my phone rings, I'll for sure answer it, But first and foremost, I need to do my job here at Red Bull to even have that consideration. But it will be in the back of my mind, and I hope that I do get the email or a call.
How's it going, Ethan? Just wanted to ask you on the new environment, new teammates, and most importantly, a new defense. Can you talk about how the 2-week period has helped you build those relationships with your back line to try to just hit the ground running coming this Saturday?
Yeah, it was good. We were just in Dallas and Houston for 10 days, so that was obviously very good for a 10-day training camp and 3 games. So you just have to, not me, but like the whole group, we just have to take advantage of that opportunity in those days to try to gel, try to get on the same page, because like you said, there's been so many changes and so many new faces. But on top of that, I'm pretty sure by far we will have the youngest overall age on any team. So yeah, those 10 days were very important to get to know each other, to get to know our tendencies, our habits on and off the pitch, and yeah, there will be mistakes made, and that will just help us grow and help us learn, and then we move on from there.
Last question. Ethan, how important was it signing with this team and having Michael Bradley as the head coach, someone who has been so influential in U.S. soccer? What was that decision like, knowing that Michael Bradley was going to be here?
Yeah, it was a really nice. I've spent 5-6 years with Michael on the national team, so. When I got off the phone with him, he's still the same Michael when I was with the national team. He's intense, he's driven, he has high standards, he expects a lot from us on and off the field. So it wasn't like a deciding factor, but like it was also nice knowing that, I've spent many years with Michael. I know Michael on and off the field, I know what his demands are. So knowing that Michael was going to be the manager was nice, because, football is such a big world, but at the same time it's such a small world to know that like one of my connections or that I've made in football has come back and helped me out with this move, and yeah, it's nice to have a friendly face. And I'm really excited to step on the field Saturday night with him as my manager. And I hope we can have a great season together. Thank you.
Welcome to New York, George. You started your career playing Division II soccer, go down to Liga MX, and now you're playing in one of the biggest sporting markets in the world. Just talk about, signing with Red Bull and what it means to you.
Yeah, no, I think it's just something so crazy. Like you say, I started off playing Division II, where signing for a team like New York Red Bull seems impossible. But I think that the mindset that I've always grown up with, thanks to my parents, and just kind of never giving up and wanting to be a good example for my little siblings. Thankfully, I got the blessing that now I'm here sitting down as a Red Bull player. Very happy, very excited to get going, and just super thankful for the trust that the club has put in me. I think for any player, that's one of the most important things, and the club has given me that.
Next, go to George.
George from the Exchange FC. You're coming onto a team that last year didn't make the playoffs for the first time in a while. Have you given any thought to this and the pressure that's going on with this team going into this season, your first season with this club?
Yeah, of course. I think it's been a couple weeks where I talked to the club about coming here, and it's one of the things that I looked forward to the most, because, like I said, I think I consider myself a person with the mindset that I don't give up. I always want to win, and like you say, coming to a club as important as New York Red Bulls, coming from a season where they didn't make the playoffs in such a long time. It's of course we know that there's pressure as a group, as a team. It's a club that if you're not always at the top, there's always going to be pressure. And as players, we're also blessed to be able to live that type of pressure. And of course, I came here because of the project, because I knew that this was a season where we have to fight for the title, and that's how it's going to be. That's why I chose New York Red Bull.
Next, go to James.
James Burley, Empire Soccer Report. Welcome to the club. Welcome to
New Jersey, New York. I just want to ask you about joining this front line with Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting and Cade Cowell. We saw the two of you create some magic against Houston, scored a fantastic goal. Just talk to us about building that relationship and how it's been going so far.
Yeah, no, of course it's super exciting. Obviously, watching Chupo play at PSG, I played with Keylor Navas as well, so I heard a lot of good things about him. And he's such a great person, which I think is the most important part before anything else. And of course, just knowing the talent that he is. I know he came off a season scoring, I believe, 17 goals. And Cade, obviously, we played in the same league in Mexico, and I had to play against him so many times, and just watching how fast he was on that field as well. And I'm just thankful that I have teammates like them, and there's also more coming off the bench, a lot of youngsters that I'm also eager to want to learn from them and want to be there for them as well as part of their growth. So it's super exciting. I know that it's going to be a fun season with them, and I just can't wait to start going.
Next, we go to Voss.
How's it going, Jorge? Voss here with Soccer View Radio. Just wanted to ask you about the team. I know there's been a lot of positive news coming out of the camp. A lot of the players have only said great things about the environment that Michael Bradley's built. But can you maybe touch on one or two of the players, or maybe the coaching staff, who've helped you acclimate so quickly to this team to be able to produce what you've done in this preseason?
Yeah, no, I think it's so hard to name one or two, just because even since before I signed, the club has treated me with so much respect, so much so much trust. They've put so much trust in me, so it's just so hard. But it's just all the coaching staff ever since I arrived. It's just showing me around, obviously kind of putting me into the New York Red Bull culture, which I think is very important. And of course, I have the fortune, the blessing that I have teammates who are amazing people, which I think in a locker room is always super important. Ever since my first day, they've all came and hugged me and showed me around and joked with me about anything, and it feels like a family. And I think that in any team that wants to win, that's the most important thing, and this team has it.
Next, we go to Eric.
Hey, George, Eric, Metro Soccer Report. Can you talk about what you bring to the field and how that kind of fits into Coach Bradley's system?
Yeah, of course. So I think one of the most important things, like I say, is the mentality that I want to win, even at practice, the mentality that, I want to go out and every single game, playing home or away, a playoff match or not, friendly, I always try to win. And just my playing style, it's just super intense. Like I said, I've been talking to a lot of the staff from New York even since before I signed, and that was kind of like what they first saw in me was the intensity that I play with, the aggression, the passion, which is basically the New York Red Bull culture. And I'm just a player that I'm going to give it all for the team. If I have to play goalkeeper, which I hope not, I'm going to do my best. And that's just kind of like who I am as a person and as a player.
Next, we go to Sebastian.
Bienvenido, Jorge. Sebastián Videla, Fútbol City. Teniendo la experiencia que tenés vos en la Liga Mexicana con un equipo tan importante como Pumas, haber enfrentado equipos de la MLS también en la League Cup, ¿qué o cuáles son, mejor dicho, las grandes diferencias o los detalles que podés ver entre la MLS y la Liga MX? Muchas gracias.
I answer in Spanish, right? Yep. Okay. Perdón. No, la verdad es que pues no, creo que no tengo el suficiente tiempo para opinar, ¿sabes? Pero creo que las dos ligas son ligas muy importantes, muy buenas. La MLS es una liga que al final siempre busca crecer, que creo que es muy importante. Y al final, para mí también, como bien lo dices, vengo de un equipo grande, pero para mí llegar aquí es una experiencia muy importante en mi carrera. Creo que en Pumas siempre fui como que siempre me veían como que con ojos de ser el joven siempre, de ser ese niño, salí de allí. Entonces, llegar aquí y poder ser un referente como un club tan importante como lo es Nueva York Red Bulls, la verdad es un paso muy importante en mi carrera. Y como te digo, al final como liga sé que es una liga muy importante, muy buena. Hay jugadores, pues, Messi juega aquí, ¿sabes? Entonces la verdad es que es una liga que siempre va a crecer y sigue creciendo. Y creo que como jugador también es importante ver todas esas cosas.
Everyone, we have time for 2 more questions, George. First, we'll go to Sean Harnett, and then we'll finish up with Segundo.
Sean Harnett, Athlon Sports. Pleasure to meet you, Jorge. I know that question was just answered in Spanish, but how exciting is it for you to look around the league and compete against big stars like Lionel Messi, Marco Reus, Heung-min Son, James Rodriguez, the list goes on?
Yeah, no, of course, it's kind of what I had mentioned. Ultimately, it's a league that is always looking to grow. It's a league that keeps growing. Of course, when you have players like Messi, like James, like Marco Reus, and the list goes on, Choupo-Moting, who is my teammate, obviously it's a sign that the league is growing, and it's always fun to be able to compete with players like that. At the end of the day, as a player, I think having the chance to compete with players like this, it's what makes you better. So for me, it's something that is exciting. I look forward to, and I'm just here enjoying day by day and looking forward to having those matches with those types of players.
And we'll finish up with Segundo.
¿Qué tal, Jorge? Buenas tardes. Bienvenido a New Jersey para Tricolor Radio de Ecuador. Hicimos la tarea, averiguamos un poquito de tu historial en México. Aún colegas manifiestan que es un error de haberte dejado ir. Con ese alto nivel que traes, con esa expectativa que llegas acá a los Red Bull, ¿cuáles son tus aspiraciones al final de temporada? Además de eso, hay una gran comunidad mexicana, hispana acá que se va a unir a favor de ti porque vas a llegar al equipo de la ciudad, del estado. ¿Cuál es la expectativa que traes? ¿Cómo te ves al final de temporada?
Sí, claro, creo que al final las aspiraciones mías de todo el equipo, de los profes, de todos, es quedar campeón. Creo que desde el día que llegué y ellos desde antes, porque yo pues, apenas llegué hace 2 semanas, creo que la meta que nos pusimos como equipo al final es sí crecer, pero al final pelear por el título. Todos sabemos, como lo comentó un amigo tuyo, que la temporada pasada pues no tuvieron la mejor temporada, pero la realidad es que yo llegué aquí porque quiero ganar. Yo llegué aquí porque quiero cambiar esa historia y marcar historias, ¿sabes? Yo quiero que mi nombre esté escrito en la historia de que llegué aquí y quedé campeón. Entonces es un poco de eso y te digo, la verdad muy, muy feliz y muy bendecido por todo lo que estoy viviendo. Para mí, para mi familia es un sueño y la verdad es agradecerle al club y a todos.
New coach, new vibe. How's it feeling around the boys?
No, it's been great. Preseason has been good. Training's been good. We're implementing some things we want to see in the season, and yeah, it's going well, and we're excited for Saturday. So.
How big of a year is this for you? Just personal-wise, understanding maybe what's in front of you.
No, I think it's a big year for me. I think I have a lot more to prove for myself, and I've been working really hard in preseason with Michael, and they've been helping me a lot with my game, and yeah, I'm really excited for the year, and I want to do my best. So.
Does it feel like kind of a perfect fit with Michael? Kind of showing you the ropes now?
Yeah, I mean, it's in preseason it's been great so far. I think him and the coaching staff have done a great job with helping me during the training sessions and things like that. So yeah, it's been great so far.
So you played some midfield, some up front, and it seems like you actually were a little more comfortable in midfield. Is that true?
I mean, I feel like I'm comfortable wherever the coaching staff can put me. I think I have my trust in them, and wherever they need me to play in the system, I think I'm willing to do so. Yeah, I'm comfortable with wherever I am on the field personally.
So, completely unrelated, but a very important question. When they say your name on TV, some people just say Sarkevsky and some say Paul.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you prefer, like personally, right?
I mean, I don't prefer any. I think You're saying my name, so I mean the fact the fact you're saying my name at all is good enough. So
Is Zarkevsky your middle name, or do you have like 2 last names?
Zakshevsky is my middle name.
Your middle name.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hall is my last name. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
see, that's the stuff. That's the information that we need there.
Lots of depth on the wing and in the striker position. Just bringing those guys like George and Cade, how has that helped you personally kind of go against them in training?
Yeah, I think those are 2 great guys that can add a lot. You've kind of seen it already in preseason, how they've been playing and performing. We can kind of work off each other, and they can do their own thing as well. So it's been great, and I think we can use that to our advantage a lot in the next season to come. So yeah.
Has the bar been raised for you in terms of getting more playing time when you think about the upgrades that the team has had in the attack this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking to be on the field as much as possible. I think I want to do as much as I can, and being on the field will definitely help that, of course. Yeah, I want to do as much, and I want to be on the field as much as I can.
You're entering year 4. What are your personal goals for this season?
I mean, just contributing to the team. I mean, if that's goals and assists, then that's goals and assists. But I mean, just I'm working hard every day to make an impact in training, and then, of course, with the first game coming up, I really want to, prove to everyone that I'm willing to fight for the team and do whatever it takes. So yeah, just contributing to the team and having a good impact.
U17 World Cup last year. What did you learn from that experience going out to Qatar and kind of getting that international experience?
No, it was great. I think being with those guys was an amazing experience. Not a lot of people get to be there, and I think just being in that environment was an amazing feeling, and representing USA is a feeling that not a lot of people get. So I was really honored. So yeah.
We're gonna go right over here first. Julian, a year and a half ago, Mario Gomez says you're on the start of a wonderful journey with the Red Bull organization. Marco Rose was here with Leipzig, and he said you're on the radar. What's the next step in a wonderful journey with Red Bull, the overall organization this year?
Well, it's great to hear that, to be honest. I mean, I really appreciate that, and I mean, I'm not sure what the future holds, to be honest. I think my main focus is with Red Bulls right now, and I mean, whatever happens. In my future, I do want to take the next step to Europe, maybe, and but for right now, it's with the Red Bulls. So, but I appreciate hearing that.
So coming from New York City, how's the commute over here? I know
It's not great. It's not fun. I'll just say that. No, it's not fun.
Yeah, unfortunately, the train is like the backup.
The train is the backup. Yeah. But the train isn't also great either sometimes. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Julian, what is it? I'm sorry. Go for it. Go, Dan.
Sorry. So, Julian, can you talk about the one goal in Leagues Cup you scored last year against one of the best defenders ever, probably? Talk about that.
No, yeah, I think even walking onto the pitch and seeing Sergio Ramos was a crazy feeling, Scoring a goal that game was a great honor, and it kind of helped me build some more confidence throughout the rest of that season. So, yeah, it was amazing.
It really seemed like that moment showed everything you're capable of, which unfortunately we didn't see that much in league games, like maybe towards the end. Is that maybe because the slowness of their defense, you can see, how skilled you are, or something else?
No, I think, in certain games there's different situations and things like that. Obviously, I would have wanted a more impactful season last year, but I think there's a lot to learn from my performances last year, and I think I can, implement that into this year. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking to do.
Last year, the team didn't make the playoffs. Michael Bradley with Red Bull 2 went on to win the championship. Just what did you learn from watching that experience? Just seeing guys like Adrian Mehmedi and other academy guys go on and lift the trophy. Just when you watch that, did that kind of build anything inside you heading into this season, knowing that Michael Bradley's not your coach?
Yeah, for sure. I think you could even tell when he walked in on the first day with the second team. You could tell he was a guy that was going to do everything. And him being a national team legend, coming in and really showing with the second team that he's gonna do whatever it takes is something you don't see a lot. So him now coming to the first team is I think is a big step for us, and he can help us a lot. And I think he's gonna try and bring that chemistry with the team, and even those guys like Audrey and the young guys coming up with the first team now. So yeah, it should be great.
Missing the playoffs, how did that impact you last year?
No, I mean, of course, that's it's not the best feeling when you don't make the playoffs. You know, we work so hard all season to make it to the first round of the playoffs, and obviously to MLS Cup. But I think that kind of just adds more fuel to the fire, you know, for the next season. I think as soon as that last game ends, we're already looking for the next season and how we can be better for the next season. And I think we're really going to do whatever it takes this year. So, yeah.
What are you looking forward to this season, both at a personal level and as a team as a whole?
No, personally, I think I'm looking forward to just showing my ability to the team and just fighting for the club every single game. And for the team, of course, is to get as many wins as possible and bring some trophies back to Red Bull Arena or Sports Illustrated Stadium.
Julian, there's been a little bit of a mix of older guys and younger guys now with the team. So with Kane coming in and George coming in,
yeah.
Are you enjoying yourself with the younger guys and then also learning from the older guys like Emil and Chupo?
Yeah. I mean, since Emil and Chupo have come in, they've been a great, great mentors to me, I would say, and I get to learn a lot from them. And of course, the new guys coming in like Jorge and Cade. It's been great having them around. You know, we've gotten close over the last 2 weeks or so. So yeah, I think a lot of that chemistry is gonna be applied onto the field, and I think we can do a lot of good things this season. So.
And you've been part of the youth U.S. national team. Has there any talks for the senior men's national team with the World Cup coming up as well?
I mean, the goal is always to make it to the next level, to the senior team. That is definitely something I want to be a part of in the future. So, if that time comes, I'm going to wear it on my chest, and it's going to be the best honor I could have. So, yeah.
Julian, compared to last season, does the feeling around the team, is it feel a little more intense? Is there maybe a little bit more of a feeling of urgency coming into this year?
I definitely would say, with Michael coming in, there's obviously it's a new play style, new formation, things like that, and I think that kind of builds a different energy around, and he's been very supportive in getting us to try and learn those things, and especially with preseason, we've been doing well as a team, getting used to those things. So I would definitely think we have the right mentality for this year for sure. So yeah.
Time for one more.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say, I've been in their shoes. I mean, I came up through the academy, so I think just believing that you could be the next guy, signing a contract or being the next guy to start for the first team, like if you manifest that, it could really become true. So yeah, that's what I want to say.
Nice to meet you. Talk to us a little bit about the opportunity to come to Harrison and what it's like to be working with an icon in American soccer like Michael Brown.
No, I'm very honored. Michael, he's had a wonderful career. We've learned so much from him already. Being at preseason, so I'm just excited to see what the rest of the year will bring. This weekend we have our first league game. Just applying the things that we've learned so far in preseason. Now the real show starts. So excited for it, man. It's an honor.
You joined the club with Cade Cowell as well. You have experience with him with the U20s. Just talk about your chemistry with him on that right side and how you guys can bring that into the season.
Yeah, I've known Cade for a long time. We kind of grew up together playing with the national team. So yeah, we have a good chemistry. We've been roommates in preseason and stuff. So things have been going well, and now we just have to apply it to the season now. So, yeah.
How has your experience in Europe kind of prepared you
this season and just kind of those experiences out there. What have you learned from those years out there?
Yeah, football in Europe is very intense. It's like a life or death thing there. You have relegation, so every point, every game matters. Learning different cultures, learning different people, and just this chemistry, even in different languages. It helps you build as a player and grow, mature. So I'm excited to bring that to Red Bulls and see what happens this season. Hi.
What it's been like working with Michael Bradley and being part of this new team? I know it's your first time back stateside after talk about the comeback.
Yeah, I think it's nice. I'm excited. It's a blessing to work with Michael. Like I was saying, he's taught us a lot of things. His style of football is very aggressive with the ball to attack, push the game forward. So I think I and the rest of the group, we definitely trust his plan, and we're excited for this upcoming season and see how much hard work and everything that we put in preseason, how it will pay off. So.
James Burley from Empire Soccer Corp. Welcome, Justin. Nice to meet you. The defense has been a big topic of discussion in the early parts of preseason. You're a very versatile player. You played both center back and right back in this preseason. Just has Michael Bradley communicated to you what your role is expected to be moving forward, and what should we expect to see from you as a player?
Yeah, I think you guys have maybe seen the results, and there's been maybe some questions about, the back line or whatever, if people are playing the natural positions. But I think, preseason is mostly about going through those challenges. I think it's important to make, you could say, those mistakes or learning points in preseason so that you can sharpen them, go over film, and perfect them for the season. We have the first game coming this weekend, and my role as a player is to just play where the coach wants me to play. If he sees me on the right side or as center back, whatever I can do to help the team is what I'm gonna do. So, it's up to the coaching staff at the end of the day where they'll put me or other players on the field or what their decision is, starting lineup-wise. But as a player, you can only control what you can control, and that's your performance and the responsibility of being on the field. Yeah,
hi, I'm Bill Hathaway with Local Talk North. How are you?
Hi, Bill. I'm good.
And give me your feelings about your season and expectation of your goals for this year.
Yeah, I think last year, and I think that's clear for everyone, it wasn't the year that Red Bulls was too happy about.
Okay.
So hopefully this season, with the hard work that we put in preseason, hopefully we can achieve great things as a group and individually.
What teams are you looking to seek some revenge on?
Hey, I love to play derby games, so New York City, of course. But I think every game, honestly, it's a blessing to be able to be on the field. So I'm excited just to be a part of Red Bulls, to wear the jersey. It comes with a great honor. So every game.
Thank you,
of course.
Justin,
Hi.
Freelander, Metro Soccer Report. Can you just reflect on your journey? Obviously, you're still a very young player, but you've been kind of all over. You've been to Europe, you started at MLS. Why now come back to MLS and just kind of reflect on what you've been through in your career that's still so young?
Yeah, I can. I've been to many places so far at a young age, different countries, different coaches. I've had about 11 head coaches, at this young age. So I see it as a blessing, you can learn a lot of things from each coach. You learn a new lesson, a new style of football. So just to be able to absorb that at such a young age, there's nothing better you can ask for, To come back to MLS now, the league has been changing, you have more guys coming to the league. You can see the progression. You have bigger players here. So the league is also developing. We have the World Cup coming as well. So there's a lot of focus on football here in the States. And I'm just excited to be a part of it. So.
Yeah, what attracted you to the Red Bull project when kind of they were coming after you?
Yeah, so I think everyone here knows, Red Bull, it's a big club. Just the name alone It carries weight. So to be a part of Red Bulls, there's not much I have to say. You know, if Red Bulls says we have a plan for you and we can see you in this position, we can build off of you. We can help each other out. And end of the day, you know, I'm still 22 years old, so I'm still a young player. And the most important thing in football is to learn. And to be able to work with Michael, for example, to work with Julian, guys who've had experience and have played, Ibra as well, played here at Red Bulls. So just to be able to be a part of that day in and day out, to learn, that's the most important thing.
Good job. Joe Pantone in New York. Nice to meet you, Justin.
Nice to meet you.
I know you touched on it before about playing center back.
Yeah.
How comfortable do you feel at that position right now, and maybe what are some of the adjustments that come with potentially making that move at times?
Yeah, of course. I mean, growing up in the academy, I started off as a striker, you know, striker, winger, midfielder. I think that's every kid who wants to score goals. And then from there with U15, under Mikey Vadas, he transferred me to a center back. You know, my dad also played professionally, and he also played center back. So that kind of idea and philosophy that they had at FC Dallas was to move me to center back, more defensive minded. And I played well. You know, I went to Bayern. I played at Bayern as a center back. Played very well. And I feel pretty comfortable there. You know, I've played there for a few years. Also played with the U20s at the World Cup, the center back. We played with 3 center backs at the time, but you know, playing center back or right back at the end of the day, your most important job and role is to defend and progress the game forward nowadays in modern football. So I think one of my strong suits is passing and you know, attacking wise. Of course, it's different than right back. Right back, you may have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to being creative and dribbling. But I think I'm open for the challenge. I'm open for both. You know, I feel comfortable in both positions, so it's not a problem for me.
Last two over here. Yep.
Justin, it's Zach Feldman, RBYC. You've had, on the topic of your European career, like you said, you've had 11 different coaches. You know, you've had some instability. Can you talk to me a little bit about what it means to you to have some stability now, clear, maybe clear project, and you know, clear position for you?
Yeah, you know, like I expressed, very honored to be a player here at Red Bulls and Michael to be coached. You know, with his experience, the national team, and his own individual career, there's a lot of things I can learn. And just to be a part of a group, you know, especially a group that wants to make change in the right direction, I think it's definitely a blessing. It's an honor, and I'm happy to be here. So, yeah.
We'll wrap up with that.
Feels good, man.
Justin, so you went to Europe at a young age, and then you were loaned out a bunch, right? Can you talk about that experience, you know, the decision you originally made to go to Europe and the stability or lack thereof, you know, over there?
Yeah, so I would say, like I said, you know, having 11 coaches in my time in Europe, especially as a young player, as a defender, you know, breaking into a team is sometimes a little bit more than just performance-based, you know. You know how things go in Europe. It's every 6 months a coach has a chance, and if things don't work out for whatever reason, a new coach comes in, you know. So just to be able to go through those challenges and to learn from these coaches, these different coaches, like I was expressing, you know, every coach has a different tactic, a style of football. Just to be a part of it and experience it at such a young age, you just take and soak everything in.
So you're taking it as a positive, right?
Of course.
That's
of
good.
course.
And different countries, different languages, you
Yeah.
can handle that.
Of
it's
course.
easier here a bit, right?
Yeah, you know, you learn languages. So my time in Germany, I learned a lot of German. I'm fluent in German, so.
Speak to Eric Maximo.
Yeah, exactly. So things like that, you know. Even life outside of football, you get to see a lot of things, different cultures. You just learn from it at the end of the day, especially at such a young age. I think the biggest blessing in life is just to see things and experience things. So,
thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Justin, thank you very much.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Coach. Anthony Merced with AGM Sports FC. So we've heard a lot about the defense this year, players coming in and out. How strong do you feel about the defensive core of this team? Should we expect any additions, and how have they performed during preseason?
we are always trying to evaluate our roster in any given moment and try to figure out how we can improve. And so that part never ends. You guys have also heard me talk enough by now to know that I see the game as very connected. I don't look just at defending by itself. I think how well you defend and how good of a defensive team you are is directly connected to what you do when you have the ball, how you attack, how well you counterpress. And so for me, the game is fast and fluid and dynamic, and it's only going more and more that direction. And so when we talk about our football, our ideas, it is about being as complete a team as possible. It is about a package of football ideas that include how we play, how we attack, what we want to do when we lose the ball, how we defend, how that connects with our mentality, our spirit, how that connects with the culture and what we do in training every day, how all of that gets put together. So for me, it's generally speaking, the work with this group has been very, very positive. From day one, they have been extremely open, willing to listen, ready to work every single day, take our ideas on the training field, bring them to life. And so, yeah, we're the part of becoming a good team, of building a team that can hold up on the hardest days. That's the work, and that never stops. And so, yes, the season starts this weekend. We're all really excited, but the part of now building a real team, that is, the work never stops.
Before we keep going, please no flash photography during the press conference. Thank you. We'll go to Mark.
Hey, Coach. Mark Fishkin with Seeing Red. To build on what Anthony said, you've got a new attack coming together with 2 new additions on the wings that seem to generate some positive play during the preseason. Can you talk about how Cade and George are integrating with the rest of the squad and your feelings on the Red Bull attack?
Cade and George have come in and established themselves really well within the group, and so we're excited to have them. They have shown everybody the qualities that they have in terms of their speed, their ability to dribble, their ability to really put opposing defenses on their heels, and just as important, they have shown everybody the types of people they are, the way they are with their teammates, the way they train. That part fits into who we are and what we want to be in every way. So we are, really happy to have them. Obviously, Cade has played in MLS before, and so for him, the part of coming back to the league at this point in his career and being ready to show everybody how much he has improved and how he can take the experience that he had in Mexico and be an even better player. And George comes to MLS at a point in his career where he is very, very motivated to show people in this country how good he is and the potential that he has.
Next, go to Luca.
Hi, Coach. Luca Richmond with Red Bulls Experience. I'm curious, the past week you've had 3 preseason games, all the same result, 3-2. The first time during the preseason where you kind of had a consistent run of 3 games in a week, maybe you were able to build off of previous results. What do you think the team kind of did differently as the games went on in the past week? And despite the results, what growth areas did you see in just the past week?
Sorry, what do I think the team did differently? I missed the part.
Just because you had a quick run of game after game.
Okay, yeah. The trip to Texas was really positive in every way. The quality of the games was excellent. We played 3 good teams. We played 3 games in stadiums. We played the first game and the third game in a stadium with fans, you know, especially the third game in Houston, had the feel of had as much of a feel of a regular season game as you could possibly have in preseason. And so, for a new team, for a young group to now have the experience a week before the season starts of stepping on the field and playing in a game like that, that part was really, really positive. In terms of results, yeah, look, preseason can be strange. On a lot of days, you have pre-planned subs that you're going to make at any given point in the match. It could be that you're making wholesale changes at halftime. It could be that you're going to let a group go 60 minutes and then change all 10 for the last 30 minutes. And obviously, we have our ideas about what we want to do, and the other team has ideas about how they're going to do it, and it's not always the same. So we used every minute of preseason in terms of training and matches to work on how we can be the best version of who we want to be and the football that we want to play and how we want to step on the field every single weekend. And so, you know, we had good training. We took the time every single day to, you know, make sure that whether it was individual video, team video, that we were connecting dots for the players between what things look like in the games to how we create certain things in training to make sure that, again, on an individual and a collective level, the picture that we have in our head of who we want to be continues to get that much clearer. And so I'm really, really happy with the work. And yeah, you get to the end of preseason and you can only play so many preseason games before it's time to start the real thing. So we're all really excited for that.
Next, go to Mohammed.
Coach Mohammed with The Exchange. Your father is coached the Egyptian national team, and you coached with him in the Swedish club. So what did you take from your father while being his assistant, and then also from his past coaching career as well?
That's a long list. Look, I've been very lucky to share the game with my dad since I was very young, and whether I even realized it or not, I was always learning. I was always picking things up, always trying to understand how he saw things, understand how he sees the game, the way that he connects with his players, you know, how he talks about certain things. And so that part, I'm lucky. I've always been around that. And then the part when I then had the chance to actually go and work for him, yeah, that the light shined in an even different way. And so to see behind the scenes, up close every single day, how he works, how he, you know, the rhythm of a morning to get ready for training, how he puts together, you know, how his brain works in terms of what we did in training, or how, you know, the video that we were gonna show on any given day. And so, yeah, as a young coach, to have that opportunity to be, you know, to work for him, to be in a staff with him every day, that set me up in a really, really good way for the beginning of my coaching career.
Next, go right here.
Hi, I'm Jeremy with the Mirror. I wanted to ask about your relationship with Greater Red Bull Football, the likes of Jurgen Klopp and Mario Gomez. Do you have any personal relationships or direct lines of communication with either of them and their staff? And how important is the Greater Red Bull Football ecosystem to you?
I have very good relationships with both Jurgen and Mario. I'm here thanks to a lot of people, and they are two of them. So when I was done as an assistant coach in Norway in November of 2024, the first person that I spoke to at Red Bull was Mario, and it was not long after Jurgen had gotten the job as head of global soccer, and it wasn't anything official at that point on my end, but it was a chance to connect with Mario and hear a little bit from him about where things were headed. And then in January of last year, I started having more discussions with Jochen and Julian at Red Bull New York. And then in February, when Mario and Jurgen and Jolt Löw and Pete Kravitz came through New York as they were giving Jurgen kind of his initial look at all of the Red Bull clubs, I had the opportunity to spend the morning with those guys. And what an opportunity that was. And so for me as a young coach, the part of how Jurgen sees the game, his vision for Red Bull football going forward, how he wants to take the essence and the fabric of what Red Bull football has always been in terms of the intensity, the pressing, the counter-pressing, the aggression, and how he wants to combine that with football, with ideas of creating chances, of scoring more goals, of playing in a way that's even more entertaining and more exciting. That fits to a T with how I see the game and with my ideas. And so I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them and the vision that they have for Red Bull football going forward.
Next, we'll go to Joe.
Hi, Michael. Hey, back. Hey.
How are you?
When it comes to just instilling your vision, getting your style of play sort of on track, how much do you lean on a guy like Emil Forsberg to help kind of move that message along?
In a huge way, to take advantage of the experienced players in any team, to find the right ways to connect with them, to make sure that they know how much you value their leadership, how much you value the experiences that they have in the game, not just at Red Bull New York, but in Emil's case, Red Bull Leipzig, his experience with the national team. That is as a young coach, as a new coach in a team, your ability to hit the ground running and find ways to connect with these guys, that's so important. And obviously, when you work with Emil every day, and when you see firsthand how much he loves the game, how much he loves to train, when you see the way that he has with his teammates, that part is incredible. And so he and I have developed a really good relationship early on, and certainly for us to be at our best and to be a really good team this season, we need to find the right ways to get the absolute most out of Emil.
Next, we'll go to Christian. We can pass the mic back to him. Thank you.
Christian Arnold with the New York Post. Thanks. Just to go back to the attack for a second, in terms of the chemistry between George and Eric and Cade, just from your time watching them, what little intricacies do you think they've started to get between the three of them already during the preseason camp? And obviously they had a little bit of magic the other day. Do you think there's a ways to go before they're fully at the capacity of what they can do or what you envision doing, or how close do you think that finished product per se is?
Yeah, look, it's a good question. I mean, and I touched on it a little bit in my first answer. Generally speaking, the part of building a team, of having a team that can hold up in the best games against the hardest opponents, yeah, that's work and that's time, and that is something that we will never stop trying to improve. The work of preseason is to especially a new coach with a new group, establish ideas, establish a foundation, a way of playing, a way of thinking, a way of training, how we connect that part every single day for again every individual player, but the team as well. And the beauty of football, the beauty of sport is still that there is a part to all of that where the connection between players, their understanding, how that gets developed and worked on, that is, you can't always put a perfect finger on that. You can't always describe that in a perfect way. There's a part to that has to come with work and time and the right training and over and over again playing together. And so the way that we put together training every day means that we try to maximize the amount of time, the amount of football, the amount of time that these guys get to spend doing the things that they do on the weekend, right? And that means how many game actions can we create every single day that challenge them to see more, to think faster, to execute better, and do that all in the context of their teammates and who they're playing with. And so, yeah, I feel really good about the work. All of our attacking players continue to pick up ideas and take the things that we're talking about every single day and apply them in a good way. And then there's the part where they have to use their qualities and they have to use their personality to make sure that when they step on the field, their personality and their quality comes out. And so we work on that every single day.
Everyone, we have time for one more question with Michael. We'll go to William.
Hey, Coach. My name is Bill Hathaway from Local Talk North. I just want to know your expectations and who will be your key players on the field this year.
The expectations are that we have a group that steps on the field every single weekend and goes for it, goes after the opponent, no matter who we play against, no matter where, that we step on the field with a strong mentality, try to play our football, try to put the game on our terms, compete like crazy until the final whistle blows. And when that game ends, we will use it as a way to learn and to get better, and then we're going to get ready to do it again and again and again, 34 times over again. And I feel strongly that if you can create that mentality, if a group can have that starting point, that identity, that the results come. That at the end of the year, when we're counting points to see who's in the playoffs and who's not, and who's in the top few places and who's not, that we're going to be in a good spot. But the work is every day, and the focus is on one game every weekend, 34 times over again. In terms of key players, I'll take the easy way out and say every single one of them, okay? The older, experienced players in the group, I'm going to count on them in a big way to lead, to give the right example every day, how to be a professional, how to train, how to treat your teammates. The expectation for them is that when they're on the field, they're not only giving their best, but playing at a high level. And then we have a lot of young players, and the environment every day is going to challenge them. It's going to give them an opportunity that if they can improve, if they can get better, that they are going to also be given chances. And when they get their chance, we want them to go for it, and we want them to show that they have real quality and that they can be important parts of the team regardless of how old they are. And so a team is everybody. A team is the group buying into something together. And so that work began little over a month ago, and that's going to continue every single day as we move through the season.
No, muy bien, preparando lo que viene, ya falta poquito para que arranque la temporada, así que muy contento, ansioso de poder empezar, de poder dar el máximo cada partido y bueno, veremos qué pasará.
La base de Brasil va a ser aquí en el estadio, entonces ¿cómo te sientes de ver gente de Sudamérica jugando acá como Neymar y todos los famosos?
Sí, estoy esperando para poder ver, porque bueno, la Copa del Mundo se viene para acá, va a venir mucha gente, así que nada, va a ser un buen momento, va a venir gente, un evento que lo mira a todo el mundo, así que nada, muy importante y esperando que llegue ese momento también.
¿Qué esperas con el nuevo entrenador de este año, Michael? ¿Cuáles son tus expectativas?
Bueno, yo lo conozco a él porque bueno, lo tuve el año pasado, para mí no es un gran cambio, venimos todo el segundo equipo. Ya sé qué esperar, cuál es su idea, qué es lo que busca él, entonces nada, estoy tranquilo, trabajando todos los días y nada, esperemos que se nos den las cosas de la mejor manera.
¿Cuánta confianza te da tener el Michael Bradley ahora como técnico del primer equipo? ¿Cómo has tenido esa buena fortuna de haber ganado un título en el segundo equipo? ¿Y hay algunos jugadores que te han ayudado a estar más cómodo ahora en el primer equipo?
Sí, bueno, como decía, nosotros conocemos la forma en la que él trabaja, cuál es la búsqueda, entonces sí, nos sentimos muy cómodos con él, porque bueno, la exigencia también que pone cada día, cada entrenamiento, intenta llevar nuestro cuerpo, nuestro físico, nuestra mentalidad todos los días al máximo, entonces nada, eso es muy importante para seguir creciendo y quieras o no, para mí eso lo terminas trasladando adentro de la cancha a los días de partido.
Sí, por favor. Tú no eres el único que está con el primer equipo ahora desde el año pasado. ¿Te da orgullo poder ser parte de esa familia de Red Bull, estar en el segundo equipo, ahora en el primer y quizás ser una leyenda en los dos, ahora que tienes esa oportunidad de jugar en frente de todos los fanáticos que tienes?
Sí, total, como decís vos, para mí es un orgullo porque nada, el año pasado hicimos un gran año, todos juntos, como decís vos, no soy yo solamente el único, sino todo el equipo y también el entrenador. Entonces nada, para nosotros, para todos es un gran paso estar acá. Y bueno, ahora vamos por otro año a intentar hacerlo de la mejor manera y por qué no, conseguir buenas cosas para el club y en lo personal también.
Manuel Nieves de Noticias Universo. Yo vengo de Queens. Vivo cerca de un barrio latino, mayoría argentinos, uruguayos. Quería mandar un mensaje para esa comunidad, para que te venga y te dé tu apoyo aquí.
Sí, bueno, mandarle un saludo muy grande y un abrazo a todos muy grande. Que nada, que siempre es lindo ver y saber que hay gente de mi país cerca mío. Entonces nada, si quieren venir a ver el partido y eso, obviamente siempre están más que invitados.
¿Cuáles son tus expectativas con el Red Bull New York? Quisiera ser entrar en la historia del club para por primera vez campeón aquí en la MLS.
Eso lo veo como un sueño, la verdad que me encantaría, pero bueno, son cosas que todavía no las controlamos. Yo soy mucho de mirar en el día a día, de crecer en el día a día, de trabajar para mejorar y creo que esas cosas llegan en consecuencia del buen trabajo, así que nada, yo me enfoco en trabajar día a día, en mejorar y nada, ojalá esas cosas puedan llegar en el futuro.
Muchas gracias.
Vos. ¿Estamos, no?
¿Hay alguna otra pregunta por hoy?
Sí, ¿nos puedes mandar un mensaje para Más TV, la comunidad de Más TV?
A Más TV, mandarle un abrazo, desearle todo lo mejor para que arranquen el año. Y nada, un abrazo muy grande para todos.
Nahuel, esta experiencia me imagino diferente para vos, ¿cómo la estás viviendo? ¿Cuáles son tus primeras impresiones y qué expectativas tenés para este año?
No, bueno, estamos trabajando día a día, ya falta poquito para que arranque la temporada, esperando dar lo mejor con el equipo, es un equipo nuevo, estamos trabajando de la mejor manera, pero bueno, sabemos que es una liga muy competitiva, que tiene muy buenos jugadores, muy buenos equipos y nada, hay que jugar partido a partido.
¿Significa algo especial para vos como argentino tener la chance, ni más ni menos, que de enfrentar a Messi? ¿Significa algo?
Sí, total, porque para mí es un ídolo. La verdad lo miré siempre de chico, vos sabés, siempre en la selección argentina. Y nada, hoy tener la posibilidad de quizás jugar en contra de él, para mí es un sueño. Y bueno, nada, ojalá se dé ese día.
¿Sabés que hay una exigencia bastante pesada acá en Nueva York, en los Red Bulls más que nada, por el hecho de tener tantos años en la liga y no haber conseguido lo tan ansiado que es el campeonato? Para vos, ¿lo tomás como una mochila también el hecho de llegar a un club que está necesitado de un título?
Sí, no como una mochila, porque siempre hay que trabajar todos los días, como siempre el fútbol trae esas presiones y yo lo tomo de manera natural porque intento mejorar y trabajar día a día, no solo para conseguir los objetivos del club, sino también individual. Entonces bueno, nada, yo creo que los títulos y esas cosas llegan en consecuencia al buen trabajo y nada, nosotros nos estamos enfocando en eso.
Muchas gracias.
A vos.
Robert, Maria Isabel, sports girl in Boxeo. A lot of times we see how players get ready physically, but how do you get ready mentally for the game?
Mentally, well, everybody I think has its own approach. Mine is definitely to do some analyze the opponent a little bit, look at the players. Well, like for me as a defender, look at the strikers and the wingers, what their abilities are, and then also work with the coach and the team how to deal with them in the best way. But I think mentally just kind of work myself into how the game will probably look like. Yeah.
And if you could bring any player from anywhere in the world to the New York Red Bulls, to the Red Bull New York, who will it be?
I would like to play with Luka Modric.
Good, thank you.
Robert, welcome. Very glad to have you. Talk to us about your game and what the Red Bull team saw in you to bring you over.
I think a big part of my game is that also fits our playing style. Really love to have the ball. I don't only like the ball, I love the ball. So I think with the way we want to play, I fit into this system pretty well, and I'm also more excited to also showcase that on the pitch in the stadium.
Hi, Robert. You spent 4 years in Kansas City, and that team was not successful at all. And this team also missed the playoffs. So you think this is going to be a little better than the 4 years there?
Hopefully, yes. I'm pretty sure it will. It definitely will be. I know it's my past 4 years in Kansas team-wise haven't been that successful, but there were also parts, also maybe from the character perspective, where I learned a lot of things or lessons from it. So I think I can also take some positives from that.
Why did you make a decision as a young player to come from Germany to Kansas City, of all places, not the most exciting town in the world?
I wouldn't. Well, it depends on where you are in your life. I think as a family or with a family, it's a nice place to live in. What made my decision early in my career, I was always open to new challenges, new adventures. I wasn't focused on only maybe staying in Germany. So once the opportunity came up to also live in the US and also be able to play professional soccer, I took that chance, and that's why I decided to come over.
Okay. Last year, you were having a good season before you went down with an injury. Just talk about what you kind of learned from that experience and what you can bring it to this team this year.
Yeah, I was definitely on a run before my clavicle injury, which was unfortunate, but also I learned from that, which was my first major injury. So I take a lot of positives from that last year with me, also personally. So I want to bring that to the next level and also show that on the pitch.
A lot of new players on the back line this year. Only 3 guys from the previous season have remained with the team. Talk about that. Is that an easier way to build chemistry? Is it harder? Just talk about trying to build that chemistry with some of the guys.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's easier or harder. It's always very individual. Also, it was good that everybody was there from the beginning, or almost from the beginning. So we were able to work on that from day one. Coaching staff helped us a lot, and we new players also saw the responsibility that we want to fit into the system as soon as possible, and I think we're doing a pretty good job so far.
Robert, in talking to Dylan Nealis earlier this spring, he said that Michael Bradley's direction was the clearest he has ever had while during his time in New York. Talk to us a little bit about Bradley's coaching style and how the team is adapting to it.
His coaching style is very direct. I had a couple coaches in my life, and I think his way is he's very honest about what he wants to get from his players. How also mentality-wise, he wants us to like push along and also build a strong bonding, which I think like he's doing a really good job of doing, like of trying to help us with that. And yeah, I mean also training sessions and also off the pitch, very good example of a good coach, and you kind of know that he also was a good player. So yeah, he brings that with him. Yeah.
Mike Batista, New York Sports Nation. Talking about this entire the build-up to this season, everything moving around. He already touched on the defense. What have you seen from how this team is coming together? That chemistry down in Florida, Texas. What has it been like to see everything form and learning under Bradley so far, and seeing the team learn these things for the season now?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were able to see continuous progress on like week by week training sessions and also games, with how the connection works, how we in the back figure stuff out, sort stuff out, defend as a unit. So we obviously keep working on that. I mean, preseason has just ended. We are all obviously excited to start the season. There's also more work to do, but we're definitely going to keep working on that.
And follow up real quick, someone who's played against this team, there's a term Red Bull soccer that people love to. We're going to play Red Bull soccer. As someone who's played against it, what is Red Bull soccer to you, and what's it like being part of it now?
Red Bull soccer. I experienced it 2 years ago. It was very, very intense. I mean, it was a good game. That's why I also remember it well, and also enjoyed being in that stadium. And so I can't wait to go back on the field and call it my home. But it was, I mean, yeah, again, an intense game. Very driven, very like straightforward with a plan. So that's what's gonna happen again. And yeah.
Thank you.
Robert, do you have a particular goal in mind for yourself this season? Any goals, anything you want to accomplish?
Personal goals. I mean, I first of all stay healthy. That's I think the most important part, and to be able to help the team as much as possible, so that we as a team, because since it's still a team sport, like we want to achieve things together. But also, yeah, I mean, play every minute. That's what I think every soccer player wants to say. So yeah, very, very simple goals. But yeah, health most importantly, and then obviously the achievements with the team.
Robert, what are you most looking forward to about living in the New York, New Jersey area?
Good question. I would say the most thing that I like, the most exciting thing is just to be able maybe to do stuff on a daily basis, or like go out, take a walk, and just be able to experience maybe a bit busier life than in Kansas City.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. Yeah.
One more question if we have one. If not, we'll let them go.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.